Hey you guys, it's Sarah Childers. Welcome back to the Metabolic Wisdom Podcast. Today we are talking about something super fun, and that is health trends. Now, I think a lot of times when we think about health trends, we think about fad diets, we think about health influencers, and just kind of like social media types of like health hacks and things like that. I wanted to talk about it because, for one, I asked you guys on my social media, on my Instagram, what podcast episode you would want me to do next after my cozy habits that help regulate the nervous system and cozy hobbies that help regulate the nervous system. After that episode, which was last week, the episode that came in second to that was me critiquing health trends. And I think a lot of people really want to hear a professional's take on this, because most of the time when you see health trends on social media, it's from an influencer who is trying to get you to buy something. It kind of stinks because nowadays on social media, I feel like it's either fear-mongering or it is trying to sell you a product. Like, there's not much in between gray space. And when I was getting ready for this episode and I was like looking up different health trends, just trying to jog my memory of, okay, what's been popular this year in 2025 and maybe a little bit in 2024. And I actually saw so many health practitioners making short form videos of this subject, and they were all saying relatively the same thing. Like, supplements aren't a quick fix. They're not going to fix all your problems. You really need to work on the foundations. You really need to scope out who you're listening to for health advice, because a health influencer who has like no credentials is not someone you need to be taking advice from, because they're just trying to sell you something and make commission off of what you buy. And like, I think that is so true. I think a lot of times as a health practitioner, especially a health practitioner that is on social media and gets clients from social media, a lot of the time, like, the trends and what is popular and the whole influencer culture around health, like, can become the bane of your existence. And that's one reason why I think I've paused a little bit on my socials in the last 2 months, just because, you know, when you constantly see fads and you constantly see people flocking to MLMs or, you know, the latest quick fixes, you just kind of become disenchanted with everything. And I never want my perspective on health or helping people become soured. And I think social media is a place where it can easily become something like that, because there are so many variations of opinions. There's so much information out there that is not well-rounded. And so I thought it would be fun, as a holistic dietitian who has a good bit of experience both clinically but also working with women one-on-one with our hormones and gut health and even autoimmunity and fertility, what's good, what's bad, and what is going to be something that actually moves the needle for a woman in her childbearing years. So I say a woman in her childbearing years because that is my target audience. That is my clientele that I work with the most. I work with women who are in their 20s, 30s, and maybe early 40s, mostly to correct gut health issues, hormone imbalances, to support their fertility, or to support them during the prenatal and postpartum period of their life. And so when we're talking about health trends, I'm talking about it in the context of someone who is a female and who is in that age range of 20s to early 40s. And some of these I think are so good, actually. I don't think it's all bad. Like, some health trends I'm so on board with that I think they're underhyped, but then there's some things that I'm just like, this is not going to serve us. So let's get into the list. The first thing that I put on the list, because this is something I'm absolutely crazy about, makes such a difference, is mouth taping. So if you are into any of the current like pop culture podcasts or influencers, you've probably heard of this Skinny Confidential, and she has these really cute pink lip shaped mouth tape things. She kind of made this super popular and glamorous. Mouth taping is basically when you tape your mouth shut when you go to bed in order to breathe in through your nose And when you are able to breathe through your nose more, your body is more relaxed. It releases hormones that help you relax even better. And it gets you into parasympathetic relaxation mode so that you can have deeper and better sleep. And although I am not somebody who's gonna spend the money on Skinny Confidential mouth tape, I just use regular medical tape. I tape my mouth shut every night. And if I am traveling, I'm bringing my tape with me. This is how much I believe in it. It has completely changed the game for my sleep. I get such good sleep. Breathing through your mouth is also good for your facial structure, and I feel like all the orthodontics I've had done in my entire life has really kind of messed with my facial structure. So I've trained myself to breathe through my nose when I sleep, and it just helps so much. Because when you breathe through your mouth, not only is your mouth getting super dirty from you just breathing in all the things, but also when you breathe through your mouth, you are just automatically making your body a little bit more in fight or flight. So like last night, there's some nights where I don't have to sleep with mouth tape anymore. I think it's kind of a training thing. Now, I do it more nights than I don't do it. But like last night, I was able to sleep without my mouth tape. And because I've mouth taped for so long, like probably like 2 years now, I sleep with my mouth closed. I wake up, my mouth does not feel gross, and also I get really good in deep sleep. Like I sleep deep. So that's all I got to say about that. It doesn't have to be fancy. The next thing is dry brushing. So dry brushing has become more popular, but actually this is something that's been around forever. And dry brushing is basically just taking a dry bristle brush and stroking it on your dry skin towards the heart or the center of the body. And you're really focusing on the bends of your elbows and your knees and like the crevices of your body that have a lot of lymph nodes. And it's supposed to enhance your circulation and also support your lymphatic system. Now, I think this is something good to do every day. I also think it can help with getting dead skin off. Now, if I was gonna rate this like 1 out of 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, probably do like a 5 or a 6. Like, I think it's really good, but I will also say deep breathing and movement is just as good, if not better, than dry brushing. And also, you don't necessarily have to dry brush. Like, there's a lot of times I personally feel as though like a lymphatic massage, like I'll take jojoba oil or olive oil or coconut oil and just like massage my head and my neck, basically like my upper body, focusing on the lymph nodes. And I feel like that makes even more of a difference, if that makes sense, with like puffiness and all the things. But I still do dry brush a few times a week. Definitely not something I'm remembering to do every day, but still good. And that kind of leads me to a few other trends that have been very popular lately, and that is, where are they at on my list? Rebounders and vibration plates. Now, if I see one more girl vibrating on a TikTok video, like doing her vibration, I will literally lose my marbles. I want one. I want a vibration plate. I want a rebounder, but I mean, they're everywhere. They are really in my algorithm. Vibration plates, let me explain. Vibration plates are actual plates, not like that you eat off of, but that you stand on. And it looks almost like a little aerobics bench or something. And you basically stand on it and it vibrates, and the vibrations cause your body, of course, to vibrate. And that stimulates the lymphatic flow and blood flow of your body. Now, a lot of times when people do this, they might overdo it at first and get super, super itchy because the blood in their legs is just flowing so much. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think it's kind of a sign that it's working, but I'm not a lymphatic expert. But the rebounders, I think, are something that is super great. I just think that if you are pregnant, doing a rebounder might not be the best. Like, usually when people talk about rebounding, I've seen so many people do it very intensely. Like they are hopping 2 feet off the ground. They are doing all the things. But I believe that you can get on a rebounder, so like a small trampoline, and just pulse without your feet even leaving the trampoline and get a great lymphatic flow from that. Now, I am getting ready to transition as far as like work environment goes to more of like a shared office. And me and my sister were talking about our shared office situation. And we were like, okay, we feel like we should, because I have a walking pad, we feel like we should get either a rebounder or a vibration plate, and I cannot choose which one. So if you actually, listener, have done a vibration plate or a rebounder, both, you know, and are able to compare it, I would love to know which one you like better. But part of me kind of leans a bit towards the vibration plate, just because as far as like having that in an office and not doing it for a workout, like I do feel like that would be a great option to not have to sweat, to be able to get on the vibration plate when you're not in like exercise mode. But I think the rebounder would be great for exercise. So let's move on to something that I don't necessarily love. Intermittent fasting. I've talked about this so much on this podcast. If you've listened to multiple episodes of this podcast, you will know I'm not a super big fan of intermittent fasting. And when we're talking about it in the context of like women in their 20s, 30s, and early 40s who are in their childbearing years, definitely not something I would do. Intermittent fasting for weight loss only works because you're eating less. You're eating in a calorie deficit. It's not because the intermittent fasting actually works. It's just you're not giving yourself enough time to actually eat all the calories that you need to eat. But skipping meals is really horrible for your metabolism. It's the worst thing that you can do for your metabolism. And every single client that I get in to my practice who is overweight and who is overweight, obese, or just is not happy with their metabolism, not happy with themselves, like maybe they are a healthy weight but they've gained weight in the last few months. What I hear all the time, 99.9% of the time, is that they're skipping meals and it's not doing anything for them, especially breakfast. Everybody skips breakfast, and breakfast is the most important meal. It's the best for your metabolism, your blood sugar, your gut health, all the things. Is so active in the morning and in the like early afternoon, like noon, around lunchtime. So eating more during those times is going to be way better for your metabolism. But if you want to support your fertility, your cortisol, your progesterone, the hormones that make you more fertile and more feminine, you do not want to intermittent fast. You don't want to be missing a meal. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Juice cleanses. No. We need more than just juice. And your body is not, it doesn't need a juice cleanse. Now, does your body possibly need a cleanse in the fact that you might need to eat really clean and just get all that toxin, folic acid, all that crap out of your body? Yes, but I think you need some protein. I don't think you need to do a juice cleanse. Juice cleanse is giving like orthorexic vibes. Cold plunges. This is not going to be popular, but if you know anything about female physiology, you will kind of get where I'm coming from. Cold plunges are great for men. If you are a woman in your 20s, 30s, and early 40s in your childbearing years, especially if you want to support your fertility, cold plunges are not going to be what I think you need. Like, I don't think you need a cold plunge. Women, especially women in their childbearing years, do so much better when their womb is warm, when their body is warm. Even when they're eating and drinking more warm foods like broths, soups, stews, bone broth, whatever, a hot tea, if you will. And disrupting your hormones and making your body go into fight or flight, because women are very, very, very sensitive. And I think the survival mechanism that it does for men is really good for them, really good for their testosterone, really good for their recovery. But I just don't think that it's the same for women. Now, sauna is different. I think sauna is amazing for women. There's a lot of controversy around sauna if you are pregnant and breastfeeding. In other countries, like the countries that the sauna originated in, like the more Nordic type countries, those people sauna all the time, even when they're pregnant, even when they're breastfeeding. Some people have said that it helps with like breast milk supply. I mean, some people say the opposite. I think if you are not pregnant, and I think if you're a woman in her 20s, 30s, and 40s, and you want to support your hormones and the toxic load that you have, if you have the economical means to own an infrared sauna or an infrared sauna bag from like Bondi Charge or something like that, you need to do it. Like, we don't have a sauna currently, and that is like an addition to our house that it's on our list. It's an essential. Once we get settled into our new place, and once we get all of the landscaping and the essentials done, the next thing we are doing is sauna. Like, no doubt about it, wonderful for you, so good, like, just so good for your relaxation, your nervous system, all the things. Okay, let's move on. Speaking of like sauna and infrared and all that, red light therapy. Now, if I were to rank this 1 out of 10, I'd probably say a 7 or an 8, and just not a 9 or a 10, because if you are somebody who has like a very sensitive nervous system and your body is very sensitive at this point, maybe you have a lot going on, maybe you have histamine issues, maybe you have MCAS or POTS or whatever. I don't know if a lot of red light would be great for somebody like that. I've heard that sometimes you can overdo it when your nervous system is a little out of whack. And so yeah, but so many benefits, so good for the skin, so good for blood circulation. I don't think, now this is not popular because I'm not selling you anything, but I don't think you have to have a red light therapy bar or like a red light sauna to get red light. A lot of people don't realize this, but at golden hour, like, you know, when all the people want to take pictures around, it changes with the season, but when you're outside and the sun is setting, and you know what I'm talking about, at golden hour, right before the sun sets, when it's so beautiful, that sunlight exposure, that level of light exposure, that is red light therapy. That is a large amount of red light. If you just go outside every day during golden hour, and also when the sun is rising, you will get the red light that you need, especially if you're getting sun exposure. And a lot of people don't know this, but if you go outside in the morning and get sunlight exposure in the early parts of the morning, it helps your body make more melanin and more melatonin, so that not only do you sleep better that night, but if you went out into the sun during the high points of the day when the sun is at its peak, your skin is going to be more resilient to the sunlight exposure. Now, I'm not saying don't wear sunscreen. I'm not saying any of that, but do it. Try it. Go outside next time it's really sunny, or next time you're at the beach, or in the spring or summer. Go outside one day and really be exposed to morning light, and then see how much sun you get during the day compared to when you don't get any morning sunlight. You're in LED or artificial lighting, and then you go out in the sun. And look up Jack Cruz while you're at it. There's so much research behind it. Anyways, also going off of that, blue light blockers. I think they're 10 out of 10. Now, you could actually just not look at a screen, but we are in the year 2025. And if you can live without a screen in 2025, I absolutely applaud you. And I'm sure nobody is listening to this who doesn't look at a screen in 2025, because how the heck did you get here? Blue light blockers, and I'm not talking about the cheap $24 ones on Amazon. Those don't work, and I hate to be that person. But if you want to do raw optics, or I have, OctaShield, I think that's the ones I have. They are medical grade. You can pay for them with your HSA or FSH card, FSA. Yeah, FSA card. And they are almost like prescription, but they will have either red lenses or the yellow-orange lenses. I do the yellow-orange lenses because I wear them a lot when I work during the day, but blue light blockers I think are so important. Now, I have done even like, I have a blue light blocker phone screen, and I have contemplated getting blue light blocker screen cover for our TV. And at night I just bought a cheap pair, but these actually really do the trick and work. I actually didn't buy them. I picked them up at a party because, you know, I was at some kids party and they had like red heart glasses that had red lenses, and I kept those and I just use them every single night to watch TV without having that light exposure. So it makes a huge difference. I sleep so much better. That and my mouth tape, just chef's kiss. Okay, let's move on to stuff that's a little bit more diet related. Seed oils, avoiding seed oils. 8 out of 10. And the only reason I say 8 out of 10 is because if you have successfully avoided seed oils 100% of the time for more than a year, you're superhuman. I mean, I am so on board with avoiding seed oils. We don't carry any seed oils in our house. I try to make a lot of stuff homemade, but there's just times where you cannot avoid it. And sometimes you just gotta live your life. But I do think it's really good. I think it makes a big difference with your skin health and how much you sunburn, and also how inflamed your skin is. I think it makes a huge difference with your gut health. I've seen that so much in my practice. We've healed so many people's guts from avoiding certain things like seed oils and doing healthier fats. Now, going back to diet type of stuff, gluten-free movement. I'm kind of actually torn about this because I did a whole spiel when I was in college about not avoiding gluten, even though I'm not saying this right. I did a spiel in college about how if you don't have a gluten allergy, you should be eating gluten, or you don't need to worry so much about being gluten-free. I think I had good intentions with that. Baby dietitian Sarah had good intentions with that because I didn't want people to over restrict. And also I had read a few studies where the avoidance makes you even more intolerant to it. Not sure if that has any validity now. I kind of don't feel like it does. Dietitian Sarah, 27-year-old Sarah, who has been working with people on their diets and fitness since I was in college as a personal trainer, and then going into a baby dietitian, and now having worked with tons of women over the last 2 or 3 years on their health. I actually think we should be avoiding gluten. Unless it's in the form of sourdough, and honestly, I say avoiding it, not being dogmatic. If you don't have a gluten allergy, don't worry about it. But I've never gotten an allergy test back where somebody was not allergic to gluten. And I would love to reach out to the people who have the Fit 132 allergy test that I do and just ask them, have y'all gotten any allergy tests that haven't come back with a gluten allergy? Because at some point I don't really know if we're even should be consuming these things as humans. But I will say allergies a lot of the time are developed because people have really poor gut health, and I think gluten and processed dairy make our gut health worse. And I've been able to see so many differences with clients who cut out gluten unless it's in the form of sourdough, and they've done so much better, and they're able to heal their gut, and they are able to at that point occasionally tolerate something with gluten in it. For instance, I had a client who, when we started working together, she literally would projectile vomit anytime she had gluten, and we did a lot of work to heal her gut. And she also had a dairy allergy, which she was able to start eating dairy again on a daily basis after we got done working together. But she was not able to eat gluten every single day. And I kind of just told her, I don't think you'll ever be able to eat gluten every single day. And I don't think anybody actually should. But she was able to actually tolerate it occasionally when she ate it. She was in college, so when she went out for pizza with her friends, or when she just did not have any other option. And so, yeah, gluten-free movement, I'd say sourdough. Being sourdough and gluten-free is good. Greek yogurt, everything. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about when I say Greek yogurt, everything. People have taken the protein in Greek yogurt and they have ran with it. They have been so into making everything Greek yogurt based. I was looking up the other day a healthy recipe for fall, like healthy recipe for fall is all I put in my TikTok because I wanted to make some good suggestions to clients of, hey, here's something that you can eat that's like kind of seasonal and fun or whatever. So I wanted some ideas. So I went to the Ticks and Talks for it and everything. Now, I'm not kidding you when I say this. You would have thought that I typed in apple crisp yogurt bowl because that's all that came up. It was so many like skinny little fitness influencers, like same words, different font, girls that were like, a high protein snack for fall. And it was just putting Greek yogurt, like protein powder in Greek yogurt, collagen powder in Greek yogurt, and then adding apples on top. And by all means, I have done that and I think it's good. And I am not trying to demonize Greek yogurt because I love Greek yogurt, but like, I think we've beat a dead horse. I do. I think we beat a dead horse. And honestly, like, I'll go ahead and say it. Protein powder mixed with Greek yogurt is not the tastiest, and I don't think anybody on earth craves that when they want something sweet. Just to be honest. That's all I gotta say about that. Detoxing, parasites, and mold. Now, I did a parasite cleanse. I don't know if I talked about this before on my podcast, but I did a parasite cleanse like 2 months ago. And I did have a few things that I thought looked a little bit of like parasites. And I thought it was interesting because after I got done with a 2-month cleanse, I did feel so much better and I had so much more energy. I think a lot of the times though, a lot of the parasite cleanses out there are not as good as they say they are. Like I did a very professional grade cell core. I'm a practitioner with them, prepped, like medical grade. You have to be monitored by a practitioner, parasite cleanse. And I think that there are some really great brands out there. There's some really good practitioners who've made like other brands other than Cell Core, but I think you really need to know who you're buying it from, and I think you really need to prep your body for it. And I think it's something that, like, unless you really think that you have one or you even get tested, because I've tested clients in the last few months and I've had clients who have them, and we are going to have to do a parasite cleanse with them. And that's honestly, parasites are a huge reason for autoimmune diseases. Unless that's you, don't just be doing some random parasite cleanse you found on the internet, you know? Be careful because your intestines will literally feel like they turned inside out. Anyways, going off of that, speaking of intestines turning inside out, coffee enemas. If you don't know what a coffee enema, let me enlighten you. If you don't know what that is, let me tell you. Coffee enemas have been around for centuries and they've just gotten popular in the last 5 years or so, but they've always been here. They've always been around. They are our way to detox. So you take mold-free, professional grade coffee grounds. Like it has to be like high quality coffee, organic, all the things. I can't remember, there is like a dietitian or like a nurse practitioner who's like very in with all of the celebrities. I think it's Wellness by Caitlin or something like that. She has a protein powder too, and she has coffee that is enema grade, if you will. And you brew the coffee, you let it cool, obviously. And once it's cooled, you put it in this glass container that looks kind of like a measuring cup. And you can hang it from a wall, or a lot of people hang it from their shower head. And it has a little tube that goes with it. And the tube runs down and goes into your derriere, your rectum. And you lay down flat on your stomach. Some people do slightly on the side. And the coffee runs its course in your intestines. And a lot of people love it because coffee is a diuretic, and also it helps to really get in there and cleanse the liver so that you are completely detoxed. It gets to the parts of the liver and the kidneys to where your diet can sometimes not as easily reach. A lot of people who have the MTHFR genetic mutation, adults, will do this. And a lot of people who just want to support their detox pathways a lot will do this. Now, there are so many varying opinions about coffee enemas. And I'll tell you, I'm not even going to rank it. I'm not even going to say what my opinion is because I've not done one yet. But, you know, if you want to do something like that, I think the best thing to do would be to get like a professional colonics done first and see what that experience is like for you before you go and do like this homemade redneck rigged, you know, coffee enema that you shove up your anus. Just saying. But yeah, I've heard so many people though, so many practitioners that I highly, highly, highly trust and respect swear by them. And I do see me trying them in the future. Not anytime soon, but in the future I do plan to try them. And I think a lot of people just get so many great results with it. And I think it's worth trying if you want to deeply detox, but I would definitely work with a health practitioner when doing it who is very versed in this. So finding a doctor or a nurse practitioner or a functional holistic practitioner who can guide you through this process, maybe even monitor you while you're doing it, and you know, give you the best advice, like be medically monitored. That's what I'm going to say about that. NAD and glutathione, I think good for you, but like, let's be honest, so unnecessary and so not economical and so not something that every person can do. Like, not most people don't have the extra big old budget for NAD and like glutathione IVs. They just don't. But if you do, by all means, I just think that I kind of think that taking NAD is a little bit of a waste. Like orally, I think that you would, I mean, if you're gonna do it, do the shots or do the IV. But I don't know. I mean, I think doing things that naturally support your glutathione production, like eating things like cruciferous vegetables and like also just supporting your body naturally with the basics is enough. And you don't have to take NAD or glutathione. I think it's overkill, kind of. Okay, the next thing is the carnivore diet. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, I shared a story that a holistic oncologist shared a post about what her thoughts were on the carnivore diet, and my thoughts are pretty much the same. The carnivore diet is kind of like intermittent fasting. It works until it doesn't. It's very stressful on the body, and especially women in their 20s, 30s, and 40s who are in their childbearing years, want to support their fertility, or maybe you're done having kids, but you do want to support your body in this stage of life. You're going to have to support your body as if you are wanting to be fertile. That is how you be healthy as a woman who is in her childbearing years. That is just how you do it. You cannot become healthy doing things as if you've gone through menopause, as if you're a man, as if, you know, whatever. Like, if you truly want to be flourishing in your femininehood, womanhood, like, you really need to just act as though, okay, I'm acting as though I want to support my fertility. That is how you stay healthy. The carnivore diet is not good for that. Your female body wants and needs natural carbs, wants and needs fiber, wants and needs other food groups. When we completely cut out food groups, I just think run. Like, just run. And I do think that some men do very well with it. But if you look up any pictures of people who have gone through the carnivore diet for a long period of time, they kind of look highly stressed. Their skin looks a little bit withered and it's got this red tint to it, and they just almost look like they're like taking steroids. Look it up, you'll be able to see it. So it's a no for me. Nature's Ozempic. There's so many people out here now who are like, this naturally produces your GLP-1, like green tea, fiber, protein, weightlifting, like things that are actually good and healthy, but like help your body to produce more GLP-1. And like, spoiler alert, when you incorporate these in your diet, like it creates a version of GLP-1 that just lasts a lot longer than like the injections like Ozempic. But there's a lot of people kind of marketing it as nature's Ozempic, nature's Ozempic. And I just think, let's not market it as that. Let's just say good basics to follow to be a healthy human being. Like, let's not go there and be like, nature's Ozempic, nature's quick fix. Like, let's do it. Yeah, that's just my opinion. 3 out of 10, good stuff, bad marketing. CMOS, stupid. That's all I'm gonna say. Stupid, doesn't work. Cortisol face, or like claiming that everything is due to cortisol. Some of y'all do have high cortisol. Most of y'all have low cortisol because your cortisol's been high for so long and now your body's not producing enough of it, and that's why you're fatigued, your hair's falling out, your gut health sucks, and your hormones are out of whack. So really, yeah, you could blame it on cortisol. It probably has a lot to do though with insulin and your blood sugar. And also it probably has a lot to do with your nervous system, which is cortisol, but mostly it's circadian rhythm and light exposure based. It's not the fact that you are running from a bear every day, or that you are in a situation that is as stressful as running from a bear every day. Some people are, and they need to figure that out. But most of y'all just have an insulin and a circadian rhythm issue, and a I don't eat enough and I skip meals issue. So no, it's not cortisol. Also, cortisol face, moon face, no, it's nothing. You just probably have puffy face because your blood flow and lymphatic flow are not great, because you either have really bad posture, which, speaking to the choir here, but you either have really bad posture or you're just too sedentary, and you need to like stimulate that lymph, move around a little bit, and also make sure you're not having a diet that is super inflammatory, because sometimes if you have thyroid issues and you keep eating gluten, that's why your face is puffy. Anyways, vitamin gummies suck. Anything that's in the form of a gummy and is a vitamin sucks, doesn't work. That's it. I did put GLP-1s, but I will say, I'm not gonna touch that. I'm just gonna say, if you have more than 100 pounds to lose to get to your ideal body weight, I actually think a GLP-1 would be good for you. If you just wanna lose 15 pounds, but you don't wanna do the basics that make you healthy, and if you don't want to address the fact that you don't want to heal your metabolism in a healthy way, you rather just have a quick fix to lose weight, that is a body issue problem. Okay, let's move on. That's not fun. Okay, I have something that I actually don't have an opinion on, but I thought is very interesting and kind of took me back to my personal trainer days. And I saw a personal trainer mention this when I was looking up stuff for this episode. And she said, she was talking about things, health trends or fads that she doesn't like. And she said workout classes. Now, I don't necessarily agree. I think that if you are sedentary and you have never worked out and you want to work out, you want to get into it, but the gym is intimidating, I think you should go to a workout class. You can get great results with that. But I did agree with her about this. If you have been going to a workout class forever and you get no results and you see no results in a long time, it's because you're in a workout class, and because every routine or class you do is either too sporadic, or there's no progressive overload. There's no repeating of routines just with more intensity or higher weights. There's no push, so to speak, into your physical abilities, and it's not tailored to you, and you're not, as I said, progressing. Which a progressive overload is basically where you're doing a workout and you progressively intensify it either with heavier weights or more reps or more intensity over time, and that is what gets results. So I think the people who are absolutely like, if you want to be absolutely shredded and like someone who like has the glutes, kind of has abs, all the things, like has a rockin' body, like you do actually need to be on a workout plan and not necessarily in a workout class. Like you need to eventually graduate from a workout class. Thought that was interesting. That's all I'll say. Colostrum. I looked into colostrum and all the ingredients because I had a client who was curious about it, and also I wanted to be able to recommend colostrum if I thought it was good. So I looked into it, and most colostrums on the market are not good, and the ingredients aren't enough to make a difference. Like, it's a super big waste of money, and if it works for your immunity, like, it's probably a placebo effect, and it's probably the fact that you are taking colostrum so you subconsciously feel like you're healthier, and so you start subconsciously making healthier choices, like maybe you go to bed earlier, or maybe you move more, or take more steps, or pick a healthier breakfast, you know what I mean? Like, It's probably not the cholesterol. Okay, let's end on this one. Let's end on obnoxious morning routines. This takes us back to social media and influencers that have like a 20-step morning routine. There's no way a normal human does that every day, and there's no way that they get all of that done. And it's people who are like, wake up at 5:30 or 6, go sit in my sauna, do a workout, take 10 different supplements and like some sort of like juice or like smoothie, and then they go work out, and then they come and do a 10-face skincare routine, then they dry brush, then they get in front of the red infrared sauna light or whatever. I mean, they're like doing a million things, and they're like, it's noon, it only took me 7 hours to do this. And it's like, nobody has that time. And also, like, what are you doing? Like, no, I'm not believing that for 10 seconds that these people are doing this every single day. And even, I think it's even gotten to that point where, like, I see a lot of influencers admit in their captions, like, I don't do this every day. This would be an ideal morning routine, which basically means I probably never do this. I filmed it so I could show y'all all the products I use. I filmed it because I needed content. This is not what I actually do every day, but I want you to think this is what I do every day. And so I think when you see an obnoxious morning or an obnoxious night routine, you should probably be like, you should probably question if that person is authentic, because most of us humans are only capable of doing just a few things in the morning. Even if we get up super early, even if we, are super productive, like, this is not realistic. So that is that. I hope you enjoyed this episode. But these were just a few wellness trends that I wanted to comment on. If I missed any, or if you have questions about any, leave them in the comments and I will actually evaluate them there if you're on YouTube. And if you are listening to this podcast outside of YouTube, leave a comment and a 5-star review, please. And no matter if you're on YouTube or if you are on the Apple Pod or Spotify, please subscribe. 5 stars, nothing more, nothing less. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.